So now what you do is, last class program this is, for in I equal to 1. Instead of writing all these things manually, it is better you write like this. For, after that, press tab key for 2 times. You'll get your syntax directly. You can write I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, I plus 2. But as simple, you can say console.writeLine I. Since one statement only, single statement, so unnecessary flower brackets not needed. You can remove that flower bracket. Okay. Now what you do is, instead of directly, if I say debug start without debugging, I'll get the output directly now. And the numbers will be displayed from 1 to 5. Now, less than or equal to. Okay, Control F. Okay, 1 to 5. But now what is my interest is, instead of executing the program directly, I want to trace step by step how internally the coding is getting executed, how the program is getting executed. For that, what you have to do now is, here, you can use a shortcut key. You can use a shortcut key called F11. F11. If I say F11, it is actually called tracing. 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 Where you are going to learn how to trace a program, how to trace the code with step-by-step execution. Yes, F11. Again, continue with same F11. I equals to 1. F11. 1 less than or equal to 5. You want to see I value also, how it is internally changing? Put your cursor on I, mouse pointer on I. Right click. Click on add watch. Yes, I is added here. I is added. I value 1. Now continue. Now you see the value of I will change to red color now when it is modified. F11. 1 it prints. Value of I now changes to 2. 2 less than or equal to 5. Prints. 3. True. Prints. 4. True. Prints 4. 5. True. Prints 5. 6. False. Comes out. Another approach. Another second approach. Now you can say for int j equal to 1, j less than or equal to 5, j plus plus, and now what you do is terminate by semicolon. Don't declare j here, declare j outside. Int j. J equal to 1, j less than or equal to 5, j plus plus. Console.writeLine j. Now here I said no, condition iterator output statement makes loop. Here condition iterator semicolon, these three makes loop. Check now. Again if I say F11 now, if I say F11 again, it will start from the beginning. It will from main. Again it will show me tracing of this, which I am not interested. I want to see the tracing of only this for loop. So what you can do, as you want to see the tracing of only this for loop, I'll do one thing. Just for our reference purpose, I'll write console.writeLine. I'll have one separator. Okay. I just have placed what? Separator. Just I've drawn one line so that first for loops output, second for loops output, I can segregate. I can understand differentiating them. For that, I have drawn a line. Now, which for loop you want to trace? Only second for loop. First one already we traced. We already know how it is working. I have shown you. Now I want to see a tracing of only second for loop. So exactly on this for loop or on this line, here you put breakpoint. Put what? Breakpoint. Now start F11. Again, it is coming from the beginning. It should not know. We want to have tracing of only second for loop, I said. But when I said F11, it is starting from the beginning, which we are not looking for. So do one thing. You can see the importance. What you do is say debug, click on start debugging. What will happen, from start of the program, till breakpoint, till breakpoint, you will find what? What you will find? Execution of code directly. If I say start debugging, from where I'm saying from the first line till breakpoint, this code will be executed directly, and exactly at breakpoint it will come and stop, asking for us to continue tracing from that point. Go for it. Debug, start debugging. Yes, over. This code is already executed, means already there on the screen output, and exactly cursor is in this line. Now you hear from here you start tracing. F11. You want to see J value also, because I already gone. Now J. Right click on J, add watch. I don't need because I already over. Its work is over. Delete watch. Now trace. F11 semicolon J plus plus true 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 semicolon J plus plus false comes out. The last value of J it will display, that is 6. Only one value. Go to output, see the output. First for loops output is 1 to 5. Second for loops output is only value called 6. Single value called 6. Remove this breakpoint. Done. Yesterday, whatever I said, we have learned that part through practical. Now, today's session, we are going to learn about casting, conversion methods, parsing, boxing, and unboxing. 4 topics we have. 4. But everything is important in it. Everything. There are many technical queries even on that in this topic I'm going to cover. So you can repeatedly even go through this video before you start attending even interviews on .NET. So that will help you, because not necessary, like you may remember every point that I say in this session. So usually if you remember, that is very good. It's very fine. But sometimes because there are thousands of technical things that come in a subject, sometimes we may overcome or we may overlook or we may just miss some points. That is the reason you can revise this video before you start attending interviews. So that will help you a lot in explaining all these 4 types of data conversion techniques, and especially boxing, unboxing. When I start, you should be very you should clearly understand, because that will help you a lot in ASP.NET. C Sharp may also it is important, but most of the things are there in ASP which are implemented with boxing and unboxing. So you should be quite very clear on that part as well. Okay, now let's go. First point. What is that point is? For example, if I write something called A equals 90, like this I write. Now remember one thing throughout C#.NET. What is that point? Left side of assignment variable. This is right side of assignment variable. For our understanding, I'll mention the same way. Left side of assignment, right side of assignment. Left side of assignment, right side of assignment. Now remember, left side of assignment you always read as variable, and right side of assignment, whenever we write something, you always read as expression. But final, that is the conclusion. Now my typecasting totally it depends on this point. On this point, left side of assignment you call variable, right side of assignment you call expression. Simple. Right? Now coming to the point. And what is that point we have is, for example, please never forget that, because definition itself is dependent on that point. Now, first point, what is typecasting? You can say typecasting is, so I'll do one thing. I'll frame all interview queries on this paintbrush file, so that will help you easily. First question, what is it? I said, what is typecasting? Or they may ask, what is casting? Now, as simple, your answer should be like, it is a process. It is a process of converting data from one data type to other data type. Process of converting data from one data type to other data type. That is what you call as typecasting. Definition. Now question. Second query is, how do you identify a casting? How to identify casting? It means, how should I know that casting is going on, or casting is means casting is needed, or casting is not needed? That part we require. So before I explain you how to identify casting, remember one important thing in the definition of identifying casting, and the definition is left hand side variable. Just now I said I've drawn one picture, int I equal to 19. Left hand side of assignment, I mean to say. I, that was variable. 19, that was expression. So remember this definition also. Left hand side variable and right hand side expression. Left hand side variable and right hand side expression are of different data types, then typecasting is needed. Then what do you need? Typecasting is needed. How to identify casting? That is the definition. Left hand side variable and right hand side expression. And are of what now? different data types. What do you need? Typecasting is needed. Exactly same way, now if you go further, now we come up with a point that what are the different types of casting? Types of casting. C#.NET supports. Now, when you come up with an answer to it, obviously it is two types. Two types. Now, two types. What are they? One, implicit typecasting. Second, explicit typecasting. Implicit typecasting, explicit typecasting. Now, question again. What is implicit typecasting? What is implicit typecasting? Before I go, I'll first explain you. I'll show you example. And remember, I once again repeat, on the basis of these examples of today's session, I will be giving you assignments. You are supposed to do all those assignments. So go through this video thoroughly, understand every point that I cover. Definitions are important. Easily you can make out what exactly the topic is and how we are going to deal with typecasting. Okay, chalo, right. Now listen first. What is implicit typecasting? So before it, what I would like to do here is, here I say, I write, I said no, example 1. First I say byte I equals to 17. 17 is expression. I is variable. Byte j equal to I. Now, second line में j is variable. I is expression. Now, j is of byte type. I is also byte type. It means variable is of byte data type. Expression is also of byte data type. Since both are related with byte, remember, here typecasting is not going on. Here it is not working for typecasting. Then what you're doing? It is simple. You're copying data from one variable to another variable. That's it. That's what we are doing. We are copying the data from one variable to another variable. We are not doing anything. Only process we are doing is copying data from one variable to another variable. Nothing else. Now let's see how to get this with casting. Okay, see here. Integer j equal to I. I change that line. I change data type. Instead of byte, I replace with int now. Now read again. J variable of int type. I expression of byte type. So variable and expression are of different data types. Different. J is of integer, I is of byte. So they are of different data types. Confirm. Now typecasting is going on, or typecasting is needed. But parallelly, another important thing is which typecasting is needed. Confirm, typecasting is needed, but which typecasting? Is it implicit required or explicit required? Implicit means automatic, explicit means manual. We have to do manual. This is automatic process. Automatic. This is manual. We have to. As a programmer, your involvement is needed. So what did you do exactly? Int j equal to I, you said. It means what? Byte variable, that is I byte related, I is expression of byte type, j is variable of integer type. So they are of different data type, typecasting is needed. But which typecasting? Let's find out. Remember, definition says implicit typecasting, possible values of expression are valid for variable, then implicit typecasting is needed. Second point I'll write. It is under the control of CLR. Means as a programmer, your involvement is not needed. It is under the control of a CLR. Thus, int j equal to I. Now, another important thing, as I said, int j equal to I. Now I said, first you need to know possible values of expression. So in this expression, I is expression. Okay. And now what I said, possible values. So what are the possible values of byte? Possible value 0 to 255. 0 to 255. And remember one thing, we are not concerned about 17. We are concerned about what are the possible values of byte. And all yeah, we are back. Yes, it's working.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So now byte variable, byte data type, possible values are 0 to 255. 0 to 255. All these values of I means that is expression are valid for j. It means j integer can easily store all those values between 0 to 255. Between 0 to 255. For that reason, this comes under implicit typecasting. Now if I print console.writeLine, I concatenate J, answer is 17, 17. Definition is based on possible values. Means someone who wants to identify typecasting compulsory, he or she should know possible values. Then only you can identify the typecasting. That is implicit typecasting. Now, for any whatever the conversion process I get. Now, what is this conversion? What conversion is it? Byte to int, and we proved already it is going with implicit. It's going with yeah. Okay. So what did I say here? Byte to int. So what is the typecasting going on? Implicit typecasting, right? Okay. Exactly same way. Now we will try to find an answer for what is explicit typecasting. Then we'll cover important scenarios of explicit typecasting. Right. We'll proceed now. This is another query now. Another query. This is about implicit. Now on the other end, I'll explain you what is explicit typecast. Okay. Question. What is explicit typecasting? What is explicit typecasting? Just reverse to that point. Possible values of expression are invalid for variable. Then explicit typecasting is needed. It is under the control of programmer. Under the control of what? Programmer. Okay, let's understand this through example. And I refer example 2. Integer x is equal to 125. X value 125. Now I want to decide implicit casting or explicit casting. Confirm you should know minimum maximum value. For that reason, I'll write a code here to find out minimum maximum value of int. Okay. Console.writeLine. int dot min value, int dot max value. Control F. Okay, first I'll copy this number. Enter. Come back to paintbrush. Paste here. 2. Copy second value. Enter. Come back. Paste here. Yeah, these are possible values of integer. Where do you want to copy? Where do you want to dump this now? Byte y equal to x. Simple conclusion. You know very well about byte data type. Its range also. That it ranges from 0 to 255. What are we doing here? You are providing. You are providing what byte data, sorry, integer data type possible values for byte. So comparing with that number itself, byte range is very small, very small byte range. So definitely that big number byte store, cannot store. It means possible values of x, that is expression, invalid for y variable, because that much of number y cannot store, y cannot handle, y cannot accommodate that value. Do you understand? For that reason, if you put this code as it is in your Visual Studio, very clearly you can find a error message. Very clear message. It says cannot implicitly convert. Read the message now. X is error. Yes, it's error. Put your cursor on X. Cannot implicitly convert type int to byte. An explicit conversion exists. Are you missing a cast? So it is asking us that what you're trying is not possible with implicit casting. It is saying that there is an explicit casting available. So it is asking us, are you missing that explicit casting? Yes, we are missing explicit casting. What to do then? Simple. This line is compile time error. Implicit casting not allowed. Then how do you write? Byte y equals to brackets में byte of x. Now you say console dot write line x concatenates y. 125, 125. Again I repeat, listen carefully. We are not concerned on for 125. Definitely you may get a point that X is containing 125. Byte can store 125. Even I'm not denying that byte cannot store 125. Byte can store 125. And I already said we are not concerned on what is containing X. We are rather concerned that what possible values can X can store. So X can store that big number. Definitely Y cannot deal with such big number. For that reason, I said like it will end up with what? It will end up with what? Error. And that is the reason we went with explicit typecasting. And in explicit typecasting, to which data type you want to convert, that should be placed in brackets. Explicit typecasting. Explicit typecasting. Now, one more query. What are the different types of explicit casting? Types of explicit cast. Types. Again, answer. Two types. Two types. Two types. What are they? One, one. Not type safe. Explicit typecasting. Second, type safe. Explicit typecasting. Not type safe explicit typecasting, and second is what? Type safe explicit typecasting. What is the difference? What is not type safe explicit typecasting? Answer. Before it, we'll see example. Exam 3. Integer x equals 255. Byte y equal to typecast byte of x. Console dot write line x concatenate. Confirm. You're converting which type to which type? Here. Which type to which type? Int to byte here. This was byte to int. Byte to int was implicit casting. Int to byte is explicit casting. Same int to byte only here also. Same. Confirm explicit casting. But what type of explicit casting? So listen. How much is x value? 255. Can byte store that? Yes, exactly. So what is the answer you'll get for x and y? 255, 255. No doubt. No doubt. Same you'll get. Same. Copy these 3 lines of code. Go to Visual Studio. Dump this code. Confirm you will get the output. Yes. Run the code. 255, 255. Yes. But question now is 256 I'll give in x now. So no doubt x is integer type variable, so definitely integer can store 256. No doubt I'm saying, because integer can store a very big number, so 256 is a very small number for integer. So question is, can integer store 256 value? I said no doubt you can, 100% possible. Okay, 256 integer can store, but parallel question is, can byte also store 256? Definitely not. Byte cannot store 256. So what C# will do now, since for byte number is exceeded, automatically it will be reset to. Okay, byte cannot store 256. So what it will do now is, automatically it is going to byte will restart the value to its possible values. Byte data type, automatically it will do what? It will restart the value, which means now x value, no doubt it is 256, and y value is 0, not 256. It will restart, I said. If I give 1, 257, if I give, answer is 1. If I give 258, answer is 2. If I give 259, answer is 3. You understand? If I give 512, again answer is 0. Because for 256 it was 0. So obviously 256 multiplied by 2, it is 512. 512 also becomes 0. It means in y, how many times value of y has become 0? How many times? 2 times it has become 0. 2 times it will become 0. 2 times. Once it will become 0 at 256. Second it will become 0 at 512. But it doesn't give you error. So this is called not type safe explicit typecasting. How do you define? How do you define this? Now you can say at this explicit casting, whenever value of expression exceeds the value exceeds the possible value of variable then automatically it gets restart. Restart. Restart of what? Restart from at this explicit casting, whenever value of expression exceeds the possible value of variable, then automatically it restarts. Valuing variable. But that is called type safe. Not type safe, sorry. Not type safe. Now you have to understand what is type safe explicit casting. So you can go through this video, you can note down all these points in your notes for your instant reference. So you cannot depend on video every time. Notes, however, I'll be sharing them soft copy also, but still you can note down all this. The soft copy with this much detailed things will not be available. During explanation, I can come up all this. Soft copy will help you in understanding all the things connecting with typecasting, but detailed explanation will be only through video. So these all points you can put in one notes so that you can have an instant reference of it. Fine. Now let's go with second part.
Sir, I have a query.
Yeah, ask.
In this example 2, actually, it can accommodate the 125 value, right?
Yes, obvious. Yes, correct.
Example 2.
Yes. Correct.
Integer byte can also accommodate 125.
Yes, correct. Yes, correct. But
why it is throwing error?
But point is, we are not concerned what is there in X. We are typecasting is totally depends on this possible value, whether implicit, explicit, whatever it is dependent on that possible value. If possible values are exceeding the limit of that variable on the left hand side, then it will throw error.
Okay.
That is the reason I said, no, we are not talking. We are not concerned about 125. We are least bothered about 125.
Okay, so fine, got it. So only possible value we are considering.
That's the reason I said, no, in order to find typecasting concept, compulsory as a programmer, you should know what are possible values of each data type. Not necessary, not necessary to remember all the values, but at least you should know at least how to find. You should know. That is what I have shown the
Yeah,
code.
yeah.
Int
Through
dot
the
main
query we
value,
can.
int dot max value, long dot main value, long dot max value. By seeing the numbers, at least you can know. Array, long has so big, very big number. Integer cannot store. Integer is very small number.
Yeah.
Long easily can store. At least that comparison will be there.
Yes, sir. Got it. Okay.
Okay. Now second part. One more part in the same topic. Uh, some point. I mean, what do you call typecasting concept in other scenarios? Like this also, it is compared. What they say, another definition you can say. Another definition. What they say is low byte memory variable assigned to high byte memory variable, then implicit typecasting is needed. Like this also definition is provided. Byte memory is 1 byte. Int memory 4 byte. Yeah. Low byte memory variable assigned to high byte memory variable. Implicit typecasting is needed. Explicit casting reverse. High byte memory variable assigned to low byte memory variable. Explicit casting is needed. But situation arises, we may get confused if if the story is a typecasting you need between int and float. Int and float. Now you cannot go with this definition. You cannot go because float is also 4 bytes memory, integer is also 4 byte memory. Now where is low byte, where is high byte? Rather both are of equal memory. Then what? Then what they do? Again they target value only because memories are same. They target value. Why to get a headache of that memory? It is better you focus directly on what do you call value itself. That is the reason I didn't talk on this definition. But still, if even if they if someone says there is it's correct only, but not for all data types. Definition is not suitable for all data types. Okay. Now we will talk about what is type safe explicit casting. Next question. What is explicit type safe casting? Before I write answer, we'll go to scenario first. Same example. Example 4. Integer I equal 255. Byte j equal to I. It's error, no doubt. Even if I go with explicit cast, byte equal to byte of I. Now it is valid. Console dot write line I concatenate j confirm 255 250. Now instead of 255, if I give 256, now it is not type safe and value of j will restart and it will become 0. Now what is type safe casting? You have to make these two lines a part of checked block. Checked block. These two lines. Checked block. Now remember what happens. I equal to 256. J cannot store 256. That is the reason you went with explicit casting. But now that same expression is a part of checked block, remember this will end with I'll pass comment and write type save casting. This time you'll get runtime error. Runtime error with message overflow exception. type safe casting, it's runtime error, and you get a message what? Overflow exception. Now you are not saying zero. Understand that point, please. You are not saying zero. I said it is runtime error, not compile time. Runtime error. Now, what is explicit type safe casting? You can say when possible values of expression exceeds possible values of variable, then leads to runtime error, and it is created through checked block. It is created through what now? Checked block. Only if you write checked only, then it is type safe. Now it will give you error. Same conversion. Even conversion I'm not changing. Int to byte, same int to byte, but type safe. Acha, same scenario, same. Copy this. Example 5. Int to byte only. Unchecked will make not type safe. Now no runtime error. It is valid. Now you'll get your output. Not type safe. Explicit casting. Type safe. Explicit casting. That was runtime error. This time I'll write output. No doubt. I'll write output. I 256 J 0. Valid it is. But what is the block I have written? Unchecked. And another point here. Last point. Note. And we conclude. Type safe explicit casting can be done at project level, so that all programs wherever explicit typecasting is being used will come under type safe explicit casting. Or else I can say type safe explicit casting can be done at project level, so that all programs wherever explicit typecasting is used gets applied of it. Yes. How would you do? Do one thing. No? This is explicit casting only. Simply write checked. Valid now. I'll get output because value is 255 only. Answer is 255, 255. Yeah, I got the answer. 255, 255. Give an extra digit. 256. I said actually 0, but this time no. You'll get error. Error. Overflow exception. Because I said checked block. So for not type safe, you don't need to write unchecked. Default itself is not type safe. Execute. Now I get value 256 0. It's not error. Okay, do one thing. Don't put this unchecked. Don't put checked. Nothing. But I want to make this as type safe. So you have to come like this. Solution Explorer. Right click on the project. go to properties, then you have to go to build, then advanced, bottom you have advanced, and in advanced you have to check this box for arithmetic overflow underflow. Okay, close, save, run the code. Though there is no checked block, this is runtime error. Though there is no checked block, still it is runtime error, because now settings are supporting us now. The project settings which you did, that is making your program type safe. That is making your explicit typecasting type safe. What did you do? What did you do? Solution Explorer, right click on project, build, advanced, check. Arithmetic overflow, under. Execute the program. That's it. Done. Save this also. Casting. This is second file. 2. Same 60. Close. Now, these all are your assignments. Somewhere, yeah, however, I'll share this video as well, but still, somewhere you can note down in your notes, in your book. These are for your practice purpose. You try all this. Int too long. You find out what is it, implicit or explicit. Basic 2-3 lines code, 2-3 lines code. That's it. Not big time text. Long to int. 3. Int to float. 4. Float to int. 5. Float to double. 6. Double to float. 7. Int to char. 8. Character to int. 9. 9. What more? Yeah, that's it.
So, this one is
Huh?
string, sir, string.
No. String I don't give, because string next class I'll explain about string. Only for value types you do. These are all value types, no?
Oh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
String I won't give, because string related next topic in the typecasting only one more scenario is there. In that part I'll cover. String and object, both data types. I didn't talk anything about them. So next class I'll discuss about it. Okay?
Okay, sir.